Welcome to Avi's Math e-Pathshala. Today's topic is ideals in matrix rings.
Today we shall start our discussion on the uh, ideals in a matrix ring. What is a matrix ring? That is, if we consider a ring, let R be a ring, and we denote by MNR be the set of all n cross n matrices with entries from the ring R. Now we can check that MNR will form a ring with respect to matrix addition and matrix multiplication. So one can check that MNR forms a ring with respect to matrix addition and matrix multiplication. Okay. Matrix multiplication. Now observe that if capital I be an ideal in R, then it can be easily checked that MNI which is the set of all n cross n matrices with entries from the ideal I. Then one can easily check that MNI will also be an ideal in MNR. Why? For if A comma B be two matrices in MNI, then A equals to A, B, C, D, B equals to E, F, G, H implies E, F, G, H where A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all of them belongs to I, and this implies A minus B equals to A minus E, G minus F, C minus G, D minus H, and this belongs to MNI. Since I being an ideal, I being an ideal, we have A minus E, B minus F, C minus G, D minus H. All of them are in the ideal I. So this proves that A minus B is A minus B belongs to M and I. And if we let capital X belongs to M and R, and if we let capital X belongs to M and R and capital A belongs to M and I, then for X equal to X, Y, Z, W, A equals to A, B, C, D, where A, B, C, D are members of I, and X, Y, Z, W are members of the ring R. So this implies AX is, what is AX? That is A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, W. This is AX plus BZ, AY plus BW, CX plus DZ, CY plus DW. So this belongs to M and I. And similarly, XA belongs to M and I. Since as I be an ideal, then AX BZ belongs to I implies AX plus BZ belongs to I, and similarly for the other entries. So all the entries are in I. So therefore this matrix AX must be in the set M and I, and also XA is also M and I, also in M and I. So this proves that M and I is an ideal in M and R. Okay. So this shows that if we consider an ideal from the ring R, then the set of all matrices, n cross n matrices with entries from that ideal I, it will form an ideal in M and R also. But we are interested in the converse part, that is, if we consider an ideal in M and R, then how does it look like? So our intention is to show that for an ideal T belongs to for an ideal T in M and R, there exists an ideal I in R such that T equals with the set of all those matrices whose entries are in capital. So this is our goal. So our theorem is, so we are interested in the converse. We are interested to achieve the converse part of it. So what is the theorem? The theorem is, let us consider a ring R with with unity 1. So we are considering a ring with unity 1. So that should be observed, that we are considering a ring with unity 1, not any general ring. Okay. So we are considering a ring with unity 1 R, then every ideal T, in MNR is of the form MNI. So every ideal T in MNR will take the form MNI, where I is some ideal in R. So this is our goal. That is, for an ideal T in MNR, there exists an ideal in Ri such that T equals with the set of all those n cross n matrices with entries from I. That is MNI. So this is our goal. But so how could we achieve this result? So firstly, we consider some elementary matrices and denote those by Eij. That is the n cross n matrix whose ijth entry is 1 and others are 0. So we are considering a matrix Eij whose ijth entry is 1 and others entries are 0 for each ij equals to 1 to n. That is E11, E12, E13, so on. Okay. And it is to be observed that any matrix, for any matrix A equals to Aij belongs to MNR. So this, for any matrix A, it can be expressed as A equals to, it can be expressed as a linear combination of the matrices Eij for finitely many Eijs. Okay, that is A is Aij Eij, Ij equals to 1 to n, right? For example, if n equals to 3, then A is A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, 32, A33. So these matrices can be written as A11, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, plus 0, A12, 0, 0, 0, 0, plus 0, 0, A13, 0, 0, and so on. The last one would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 8, 3, 3. So just taking out all the coefficients from each one. A11 100 000 000 plus A12 010 000. So last one 000 000 001. So that means it is A11 E11 plus A1 E12 and so on plus A33 E33. So just like that, by using mathematical induction, although we don't have to use mathematical induction, we can do it normally, that for any matrix A, it can be expressed as the sum of these matrices, the summation Aij, capital Eij. Now we define, we have already considered the ideal T in MNR. Okay. Now, our goal is to construct an ideal in R. That is our goal, which will do our job. So we define a set. So we define a set capital I. What is capital I? Now it is the set of all those entries. Which entries? The entries in the 1 1 position. From which matrices? The matrices lying in T. That is, the A11 belongs to the ring R, where A11 is the first entry of matrix A belongs to T. That means we are considering all those first entries of the matrices which are lying inside T. The first entries. Now our claim is that I must be an ideal. I must be an ideal in capital R. So this is our claim. So to prove this claim, so let us first consider two elements from I. That is A11, B11 belongs to I for two matrices A equals to Aij and B belongs to Bij, which are in T. So we are considering two elements A11, B11, which are the first entry of the matrices A and B, which are lying inside T. Okay. Now we can represent A as summation Aij, capital Eij, and B as summation Bij, capital Eij. Okay. Now since T has been assumed as an ideal in MNR, so A minus B. What is A minus B? So since A and B both are in T, so that A minus B must be the ideal T. So A minus B in T, whose first entry is, what is the first entry of A minus B? That is A11 minus B11. And therefore, that first entry must be in the set I. So this proves that I is a subring. Now we need to check the other condition to make I an ideal. So again, let small r be any element from the ring capital R, and we consider an element A11 belongs to I, where A11 is the first entry of a matrix A equals to Aij, which belongs to the ideal T. Okay. Now again we write A as summation Aij Eij. Okay. Now then we see that then we see that A dot, then we see that A multiplied by the matrix R E11. E11 is a matrix whose first entry, the 1/1th position entry, is 1 and others are 0. But we multiply this matrix by R, small r. So the matrix is R 0 0 0 0 0. That is the first entry is smaller and others are 0. And we multiply this matrix with A. Then this must be in T as T being an ideal. In MNR. Since T has been assumed to be an ideal in MNR, so this matrix must be in T. But what is the product? What does it give? So let us check. So A dot RE11. So this must be summation Aij, capital Eij dot RE11. So if we write down it, so this will give that. So so this will give, okay, A11, A12, A1n, A21, A22, A2n, AN1, AN2, ANN multiplied by R 0 0 0 0, and all of them are 0. So if we do this multiplication, what shall we get? So it would be, so A11 R, others are 0. So first one is A11 R. Then A11 0, A12 0. So this 0. This is 0. Second one is 0, and so on. These are all zeros. Now we come to the second row. Then it will give A21R, others are 0. This will be A31R, others are 0. And so on. This is AN1R, others entries are 0. So we see that A dot RE11 is the matrix whose first column is A11R, A21R, A31R, AN1R, and others columns are 0. Okay. So this belongs to T, and this implies, so the first entry of this matrix A into RE11, it is this one, A11R. So this is the first entry of the matrix A dot RE11, which is lying inside T, and this implies that this A11R must be in capital I. So thus we have proved that for any given element in the ring R and an element A11 in I, the multiplication, the product, the ring multiplication of A11 dot R is also in I. So similarly, one can do the same thing for the another one. So in a similar fashion, we must have RA11 belongs to I. So this proves that capital I is an ideal in R. The capital I is an ideal in R. So it remains to show that that the given ideal T of MNR takes the form of MNI. That is, set of all those n cross n matrices whose entries lying in the ideal I, which has been defined above. So let us suppose that A belongs to T, where A is small aij. That is, it can be written as Aij, Eij. Now let us fix two integers. So we have fixed these two integers ij, which are lying in between 1 and n. Okay. Now we need to show that, so our goal, our goal is to show that this A must be in MNI. That is, the entries of A are lying inside the ideal capital I. So our goal is to show that each entry Aij of capital A must be in capital I. So this is our goal. Now look at the following matrix. E1. Look at the following matrix. What does it give? E1 I dot A dot EJ1. Then this will give, so it is A1 I dot summation A1j Eij dot EJ1. Then what does it give? So firstly, if we multiply this with ej1, we have already seen a multiplication that if this one a dot r e11. So what we have achieved, that the first column is looks like the entries are multiplied by r. Now in a similar way you will have, so e1i must be of the form a1j 000, a2j 0, anj, this. Okay, and this one gives e1i, this one, then e1 in e1y the only non-zero entry is in the position 1ith position, 1ith position. Okay, then that is, it is 1ith position, that is the first row ith column, that is 0 0, this is 1, this is in the ith column, ith position 0, and others are 0, 0, and it is multiplied with 1 a1j 0 0 0, a2j 0 0 0, anj 0 0 0. Then this multiplication will give, that is 0 into a1j, it is 0, plus 0 2j 0. So this one will give the only entry, which will be, that is a1j, a2j, aij. It is in the ith column, so it will give the ith row. So aij 0 0 0 0. Yes. So this matrix belongs to T, as T being an ideal. So since this matrix is in T, so its first entry is aij. So this implies aij is the first entry of a matrix which is e1i dot a dot ej1, which is in T. So this implies aij belongs to I. So this proves our goal, that each entry of the matrix A are in capital I. So this proves that the ideal T is a subset of Mni. Now for the reverse part, again let capital A is in Mni. We need to show that A belongs to T. Okay, so let A belongs to Mni, where A is small aij, in which every entry are taken from the ideal I. Okay, so we again write this as summation aij eij, where aij's are in the ideal I. Now since aij belongs to capital I, so then aij must be the first entry of some matrix B equals to, it is written as B S T E S T, which is in the ideal T, such that Aij is the first entry, so B11 is Aij. Okay, so the first entry is Aij. Now note that again we consider the same type of matrix, that is EI1 B E1J. Same type of matrix multiplication. It was E1I, but we consider here EI1 dot B dot E1J. So this matrix must be in T, where if we calculate, so EI1 dot B dot E1J. So after calculation, what shall we get? So it must be, just calculate similarly in this way, this one. You will get that this one will be B11 EIJ. That means what is B11? B11 is AIJ. That is AIJ EIJ, which is in T. Okay. So thus every AIJ EIJ belongs to T, and this is true for all I comma j equals to 1 to n. And since T be an ideal, so their sum is also in T. So we must have summation Aij Eij belongs to T, and hence capital Mni is subset of T. So this proves that T equals with Mni. So what are the ideals in MNR for a ring R with unity 1? The ideals in MNR for a ring R with unity 1 will be of the form Mni. That is a set of all those matrices, n cross n matrices with entries from the ideal, from an ideal I of R. So this gives us this corollary. Now if we consider R to be a skew field, what is a skew field? A skew field is a ring with unity 1 in which every non-zero element has a multiplicative inverse. So let R be a skew field, then MNR does not have no non-trivial ideals. The reason is that MNR does not have no non-trivial ideals if R be a skew field. What is the reason? Because if T be a non-trivial ideal, in MNR, then T must be of the form Mni, where I will be a non-trivial ideal in R. But in a skew field, the only ideals are what 0 and R are the only ideals in a skew field. R. Okay. So therefore, since I is non-trivial, so I must be capital R. And hence T equals with Mn R, which implies that singleton 0 n cross n matrix and MNR are the only ideals in MNR. So thus we see that if RB is skew field, then the only ideals in MNR are singleton 0 and the whole ring MNR. Okay. The above corollary, now it should be remarked that the above corollary doesn't hold for right ideals as well as left ideals in MNR. This doesn't hold. An RBS skew field. Okay. For example, let capital F be a field and we consider the ring, the matrix ring MNF. Now define IK. What is IK? Now it is a set of all those matrices in MNF whose all rows are 0 except possibly the kth row. And we consider another one which is JP. It is the set of all those matrices in MNF whose all columns are 0 except possibly the pth column. So it is your task. So we are okay. So we can show that IK is a right ideal. Check on your own. And JP is a left ideal. check. But since capital F being a field has only right or left ideals as singleton 0 and F itself. So thus we see that if F is a field, then M and F contains non-trivial right ideals and left ideals, but F doesn't have any non-trivial right or left ideals except those ideals 0 and F. Yeah.
We should stop here. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.